This is the second part on the relative approach analysis. If you do not know what the relative approach analysis is, you have to watch the first video, otherwise you get completely lost here, okay? In this video I show you how to use the relative approach analysis on different NVH applications, show you some property settings, and you get the full spectrum what is possible using this kind of approach, all right? It's not averaging a signal to say it's good or not, no, it's looking at the patterns, okay? Have fun. I have here 8 electric engines that has to pass the end of line test, and you see in the file name the first are IO, that means an alright, and the last one didn't pass the test, no? Okay? So first idea is you can listen to the file. You should play it. It's just a normal running. Okay, and now one of the other ones. Something broken in there. It will break very soon. Okay, sort this out. But you don't want to listen to all the engine you're producing every 5 seconds. You want an automatic evaluation of that system. So we analyze them. If you do not have relative approach, you might work on the octave bands. So octave bands FFT. I sort them 4 by 4. Okay, there are 8 results. And can you tell me on one view which is good and which is not? I do not. Maybe this one will be definitely too loud. Okay, you might see a line in here, say if it's above the line, then it's too loud. But as you just learned, it's not about how loud it is. More important is what is the pattern. If it's making ooh noise, it's not that bad making ooh, 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 ooh. But this drops the level because it's silent and again loud, okay? So the changing of values, this is important. And in third octave spectrum, you will not see that because this is an average value for each frequency pair. And I'm not sure if this frequency pair is a good one or this sounds very strange. It's really brave to say I make a line and if it's above the line, it's probably not good anymore. Now we analyze the same recordings with the relative approach analysis. We start with 3D. Can you guess which 4 are good and which are bad? What? It's just flashy in your eyes. It's okay, these 4 are good, the first 4, and these 4 are so bad. Wow, let's listen to this one. This is sample number 6. Okay, and this one? Something is not straight, something, okay, and you can see that in one view. Well, now we have an analysis that points out with high colors the thing I'm interested in. And now I'm able to reduce the information to a 2D diagram. Let's do this for this example here. So we add relative approach as a 2D diagram. So the annoying pattern we see as a color in a 3D diagram gets now a peak in a 2D diagram. Let's play this. See? Or maybe in slow motion. So this is the first step for data reduction, but we don't even want a graph. In the end, we only want to have one value which says it's good or not. So we need single values. So all we have to do now here is set in the properties for the analysis single values. The default is just an average, but what we want is how many times it's too annoying, okay? So I like to add a percentile value. Maybe 5% would be enough. Let's see what this brings us. On top, obviously, for good engines, and below for bad engines. Okay, it's working so clear now. But even more, we have now single values in here. As you see, this is 0.31, this is 1, this is 0.8, this is 9, 16, this is above. But this is an average value. But we can do even better. We have the 5% percentile, 41. What does it mean now? It means if you draw a line at 41.4, it's on top. Now this line means 95% of this time, the level is below that one, but in the other 5% this peaks out. And that is what our brain detecting is tick, 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 tack, 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 go, go, go. All these small moments that catch our attention, okay? And this value gives you a direct information, okay, annoying or not annoying. Now it's easy. End of line testing means there could be something wrong with your object. If you know it's sometimes always this, then you can fix it. But end of line testing means there could be something in it. So it makes it so difficult to get any target line because you don't know where it comes up. Something is different. And this is the big advantage of relative approach. He compares completely natively this doesn't sound good, and highlights it. So it's a flexible tool without any frequency points. You just say, if it's fine, you say no. But the coolest thing is, look at the unit, it's compressed Pascal. It's a relative value, that's the human thinking. You hear something and you say it's like this. You can use it on microphone signal. You can even use it on different kind of signal, like on accelerometers or electricity current. And it's so good on end of line, because you can't place a microphone in it. It's so loud for everyone is yelling, and you can't measure that like this. You can also put it just on an accelerometer signal. And he compares the signal and see the patterns in any kind of signal you got. This mixed analysis is so universal in all kinds of NVH applications. I've used this relative approach analysis in so many applications. Any kind of electric engine, like in e-bikes or in heat pumps, or road noise, something is disturbing in there, or of course a fan had different patterns than a washing machine or an engine. Okay, and here you can adjust this algorithm so it finds exactly your pattern that is disturbing. First of all, you are asked, what is the basis analysis? You get the signal, what should I first do with this analysis? And then I can find the patterns in there. Okay, of course there is the FFT analysis. It's the fastest. Okay, then you have what I recommend, the filter analysis, which is closely more to the human perception, because we don't make blockers when we listen to something. Oh, stop. Okay, get one. Okay, no. We all listen continuously. We never stop listening. Okay, that's what the filter also do. It's definitely an advantage. And then you can see the filter size. So standard is 12th octave. If you go for 9th octave, just a small deviation back from the default setting, it's bigger. The filter is bigger, and therefore the response time is faster. So for fast noise, I would set then on 9th, just a little bit. You can try out what is the effect. No? What else is there? Of course, spectral weighting, and then there are some professional setups, regression or the prominence. I do not know any example where prominence works better, so keep regression. And now these very fast changes, no, can be detected in high precision, so we got them all. I think I added a decent example here so you know what I mean. I have a wiper sound here. Let's listen to this. What do I perceive? This is very similar to the drum in the beginning. But there's more. There's also woo, 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 woo. Oh, whoa, whoa. So we have two different kinds of patterns. We have time patterns and we have tone patterns, and both attract the attention of human brains. That's the way music works. We have some rhythms and we have changing melody, changing tones. Every music changes its tone, and that attracts the attention. That's why an ambulance have that hoo, ta, hoo, ha, hoo. We hear that easier than it's just one tone. Okay? Let's separate that. For the analysis, only take one channel. It's easier to see. And we start with a relative approach. And the default setting would be a 12th octave filter. This is good for frequency and time pattern. But we have selected here regression algorithm time pattern. It seems like it's slow. Gung, gung, gung. But as you hear with headphones, you can hear that is gung, 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 gung. There are more. So I like to have a high time resolution, and I don't need good frequency resolution because it's an impact. It's on all frequency at once at the same time. So I have the idea here to go for bigger octave bands. And the easiest way to try this out is I just take the analysis and copy and paste it several times using the control key. As I leave on 12, maybe here I go on 9th, small deviation, then maybe I go for a third, and here extreme maybe to the full octave band. And now I can just see what comes out. Go here for a square. What fits the best? It's clever to have them all in the same color range, so the coupling should be on all. And now it's easier to see where do I see the impact the best. This here is for me too soft, not a clear signal. This was the 12th octave. On the opposite, a full octave, that's what's in here. You can see there is a lot of mud in there. It's not really clear where your sound is. But here I can see clear there is gung, 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 gung. Here, all these impacts are definitely taken out, which I can hear better than the other one. Everyone works a little bit, but this works the best. So I got the first setup will be a 3rd octave. This flap over is best detected in the frequency range between maybe a 200 and 500 Hertz. This is the area where it's clear to say. So I can help the analyst to get rid of all the rest matter, which I can't hear that well, and using a filter. I think I explained it here by using an FFT versus time, how to set up the right filter. This is your signal or the energy in the wiper sound, but I want to activate my filter bank, and here are some filters attached. I activate maybe here a band pass, right? There it is, and I can see what's happening now. Of course, I can set the right filter point. And if I play back, I see, where is this duk noise? It's not here. It's just where we've seen with relative approach analysis. Yeah, there is the spark back noise that makes it so clear. We can leave the filter order quite low because we want to have a smooth transition. Even the quality can be lower. So actually we want to almost pass everything, just makes boom. But just not the edges, not too low and not too high, because our perception is in the center about 400 Hertz, okay? So now we have a decent filter setting. How can I use this now in my analysis? I go back to my pool project and I can activate the column filters. No filter in yet here, but there it is. And hold on, I just pick the filter, drag it over to my filter pool, boom, there it is. So the next time the wiper will first be filtered and then go for my relative approach analysis with the third octave spectrum. So now I don't need the filter and the playback anymore because it's already in the flow of the analysis. I go straight to my relative approach in 2D diagram, wide of third octave, and I want to have a single value, as we know. So the single value, I will also add a percentile value. 5 is the default, sometimes a little bit higher. Maybe I add also a 10 to see what's the best value. And then calculate, put it in the mark analyzer so I can see if it fits. We see now all these peaks. Listen, playback. Diggy, diggy, gadaga, diggy. So diggy, diggy, dagada, diggy. This is all over. So this will be a good line. Say this is annoying. And we have here a value of 15. And our single values we got here, 5.18, it's too high, but there, 10, a percentile value is 15. So all I need to have this full relation of the time pattern is this CP10, all right? So go back to my full project and say, only want single values, and I only need this one. So only need 10% percentile of this analysis, and I can insert single value table, and then it's just analyzing and you got the value. You can also put it in an Excel file or wherever you want it. Additionally, now you can also adjust a little bit the time weighting, but this is the default set, and hey, this diagram looks really good. This will work good, all right? And now we'll do the same for the frequency patterns we hear. This woo, woo. Okay, so no filter yet in the beginning, and we go for the standard setup. This can be off. All right, and the relative approach in 3D is now to be set, look for frequency pattern. The problem on the wiper is it changes its tone. It's not ooh, ooh, it's ooh, ooh, and it sounds not right. It drags the intention too much. It's not healthy, all right? So we need higher frequency resolution because a small change should be detected by the relative approach. The default is 12 octave. So again, just copy and paste several times the analysis. First will be default, and then I go for higher frequency resolutions. Okay, now let's check there they are. Our frequency range, woo, woo, is anywhere here in the middle. I can see now. So where is the picture clear? But here actually I can see this woo, woo. But here's even better to see, especially on top, this changing of tone. This is important. A tonality algorithm would say there is a tone, but the relative approach says there is a tone and it's changing. It gives an extra value, and that's why I like the relative approach analysis, especially on this changing tone. I think this is the best setting. So this is 24th octave. But we have a problem here. This book has also tone information there, but that we already have. I want to separate this information. So here in my filter setup, I want to have a clear and sharp line. So I use a high pass and a low pass filter to have full control. So I activate a low pass filter. I can see now how it works, and I want to have a clear line. So I go on for high order. All right, and we listen to that one. There's the tone in and not any anymore. So Now we have this woo woo in. And same go for a high pass from the other point. Also here, a good filter order to have a clear edge. So we take this off. If I'm talking to a human, I would say, listen to the wiper noises, whoa, whoa. And that can also do with the filter, clearly for the analysis. Just check for frequency pattern of wiper. And of course, these two filters can also be added as a package and can name it like a frequency pattern. So you can use customized filter packages to boost the quality of each analysis in the analysis pool. But now it seems like you have to concentrate which filter has to be combined with which analysis. If you do not want to concentrate while you're working, then in this case I recommend to use the automation pool or the metric project. Then you can combine the filter with its analysis as a one-click solution. One click and you got it all right, fine. Now let's find the proper signal value in the 2D frequency pattern analysis. Ooh, ooh, oh, oh, ooh, ooh, oh, oh. If we draw a line, whoa, 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 whoa. This is definitely above. This is above. Somewhere in here would be a good value. So the 21, here we have 23, 70, so something in between there. So this will be your value of annoying of changing tones on wipers. For me, the relative approach is the most powerful tool there is in the analysis pool in the Artemis suite. It allows even to go to the masterclass of NVH analysis and build up an overall metric. You have to be careful with this term metric. Some of the competition call a metric and just take an analysis. Okay, it's not our idea. Metric is at acoustics if we combine different analysis metric results to an overall evaluation. We have noise patterns in there, we have some tones in there, we have some sharpness, we have a booming noise, and all these has effects on human perception and has to be mixed the right way so that this is a 4 and this is a 9 from 1 to 10 scaling, and to make it possible that the software can tell us what will be the rating of humans to that sound. Just in a second. Let me show you what I mean in this old project I made. I measured the engine noise of 25 vehicles from the engine bay, and then we calculate from that noise what will be the noise inside of the vehicle by the transfer path. Okay, these noises are then transferred to the listening test so people can listen to the sound and say it's good engine, diesel combustion was the topic, it's a bad combustion noise, a medium combustion noise. So you get just a rating from +3 to -3, and then you get a result. That's human perception. This is the truth. Listening test is very easy. Here are your records and you say, I want to listen, yeah? And then you create a Scala project. This is an automatic listening test, okay? And you get the results back, which is good and which is not. And this you can feed then by the analysis in the metric project. And this helps you to find the right analysis with the right setting, so the results will match the human perception of your listening test. So it looks like this. We have here all the engine noises and here how they are rated. In black is the result of the listening test, and by the metric project we find the right setting so it matches just by analyzing with the analysis the same results. Well, that is cool, but you have to validate to be sure that it's right. And we add 4 more records. So S13 was rated quite high and S18 really, really low. Let's hear that. 13, play. It's about this. Which is quite good, yeah. And now we listen to S18. It's not good. And now that we can find these patterns, we can calculate the evaluation of humans. And let's see what it come out. Same result. The metric gives exactly the same value for each car like the listening has done. Okay, so we have a tool now. Small changes, maybe a smaller RPM speed at your fan or a little bit less pressure in your heat pump. A lot of effects happen at the moment, but you get with just a few clicks a direct evaluation what will be the overall evaluation of 100 persons. Yeah? Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there. So this speeds up your work tremendously. The correlation is 0.96 human and analysis. And this is only, I can tell you, only possible because the relative approach is in there. In all metrics I made in my career, the relative approach was in, and it was the most important analysis to get this high correlation. This is the magic tool you need. So let me close the full bracket. In the beginning I played this Mozart song, and I just select another file here, and let's compare them, okay, with traditional octave spectrum, A weighting third. Can you tell me which one is better? I can't. Well, the overall level is almost the same, and all the frequency spectra are very close together. It seems to be the same piece of music. Let's check. So this was, from the beginning, our Mozart. Okay, got that. And now the other song. You're laughing, but for an octave spectrum, this is the same energy. It's the same. Go past it. No. The message is, people do not evaluate by averaging frequency in its overall level. They do not. They have never done it, and they will never do. They listen for patterns. So you should do the same if you evaluate NVH. With that tool, you can change from having a cheap, noisy product to having a sound design, highly sophisticated product. It's these small, tiny ticks that make it sound good. So get in contact, then get your analysis, and then get your noise right. See you.